Hi and welcome to my channel. Now today's video is a continuation of Sansui 331. I've already cleaned up the faceplate. Today I'm going to be changing these bulbs that didn't work, even though they're working now. They didn't work first of all, so you're going to see me change them bulbs on the tuning meter as well as each end of the actual dial, and also going to do a little bit more cleaning, just this little bit inside here. You're going to see that kind of got a bit of foam in there that crumbles away. So it's really showing you that, and down here I'm going to be doing this model here as well. As you can see, this is on, believe it or not. I don't know if you're getting any flickering. There's no flickering happening here, just in case the camera picks it up. It sometimes does. This is actually on this unit. That's off and that's on, and the bulbs are lit up, so I'm not too sure what's happening there. This is a Sansui 210, so I'm going to be looking at that in a future video as well. I've already done the DC offset and bias on that, a little video on that, but like I say, today's video, I'm going to turn this one off there because we don't want to see that. Is a continuation of this 331. So what I'm going to do, I've cleaned the faceplate up, and also I did wrap it as well. It didn't come out great. It was okay-ish when it was okay-ish, not quite as good as the other one I've done. But someone did get in contact with me and said that maybe it's better sanding that down and painting it all black, doing the wooden case, sanding it down and spray painting it black. Now I'm not very good at spray paint. I've done one spray paint job for the missus. She had a flower pot in the garden and I gave it a spray and had a few runs in it. So hopefully I'm going to do that case a little bit better. So I'm going to get myself a tin of black paint, I think, not a tin, sprayed black paint. I'm going to take that wrap off again, going to give it a bit of a sanding down. That's going to be later on when I finish the whole lot. That'll be the last job, I think, and see how the spraying goes. If it don't come out too well, then I'll have to rewrap it again, I suppose, something like that. But we're going to give that a go because the pictures that YouTuber sent me, I forgot his name, I do apologise, yeah, come out spectacular, come out really well, and I think it's really going to suit this silver front, having a black surround on it as well. It come out quite nice, so I'm looking forward to that, and fingers crossed I'll be able to do a bit better job spraying that paint. I think the idea is to do it very finely and do 3 coats or something like that, he mentioned, and rather than that flower pot I kind of try to do all at once, and obviously not the way to do it, so hopefully second time round maybe a bit better. Anyway, let's get on with this. I haven't got the knobs on there at the moment, they're all cleaned up and everything, but the reason is because I want to show you a few things, and I'm going to do some other stuff to it as well. And I don't really want a faceplate on it because it may get scratched and all that. So let's take this off, like so. So I'm going to put that down on top of my CD player this way around so it won't get scratched, hopefully. So I've cleaned up this front plate here. This is where all the numbers are, the tuning dial, shall we say. And that's done by 2 screws at the top. And now, first of all, if you haven't got all this top off and everything, maybe you want to revert back to my previous video of me doing the faceplate, but all it is really is 2 screws at the top. Once you took the lid off, 2 screws at the top, and just undo 2 nuts here, and that faceplate will come off. So if you just wanted to do the bulbs and not the faceplate, that faceplate will come off. Just 2 screws at the top and 2 nuts, and that'll pull off. Obviously take all your knobs off as well because they're going to be in the way. Take all the knobs off and they will come off. So yeah, I'll clean this up, and like I say, to get that off, it's 2 screws, 1 here and 1 there. I've got a picture up of the screen where the screws are, and that will come off, and you give that a clean. It's sometimes a bit hard not to get a fingerprint or a bit of dust back on it, but a bit of Windoline or a bit of clean or something like that, we'll get that clean. It's come up pretty well here, it's come up spotless really. Always going to get an odd speckle of dust suddenly appear. You can have a blow away or something like that. So once you've done that, that's fairly straightforward. Obviously screw it back in place, hold it back in place. Now just before we mention the bulbs, there's a little bit of foam that goes here. I think I'll show you a picture of it there on the screen, and you're going to notice that's fairly brittle, and that fairly brittle. So let's just play a video of me just tapping it on the side here, literally just on the side here. I'll tap it and you'll see how fine that is and how it all falls apart very, very easily. As you can see, that really does fall apart easily, and a little bit of shaking and everything inside the receiver, a little bit of movement and that, and it won't be long before that literally just completely crumbles and falls down. I've had some speakers like it, I've had a few different things where you suddenly open it up, you've just got a pile of dust sitting at the bottom, all this fine dust, but it can get into these controls a little bit. They're kind of like flush with the unit, but it could get in there, obviously when you're pushing them in and out, etc. You could push a bit of that dust in there and make them noisy, that kind of thing. So it's worth just peeling that completely off and cleaning it up, so it's completely completely smooth now. None of that like fine foam going to get in the way again. So that's just one job maybe you want to do. Consider maybe if you're changing the bulbs while it's there, just get rid of that kind of thing, and you're not got to worry about it again. But these bulbs, there's two here, one each side there as you can see, and there's one for the tuning meter here that's inside. So we're going to tackle the tuning meter first. So as you can see, it's just two screws holding that in place. There's a few wires there now. Hopefully you won't have to unsolder any wires. I didn't have to. There's a bit of jiggling about, a bit of moving about, and you'll get that meter so you can see it like that. And all we got to do is put a new bulb in there. Now for these bulbs here, I've gone with LEDs. With the other one, I actually went with normal filament kind of bulbs. But this one, I decided to go with LEDs. And I've gone with warm white rather than a bright white. I wanted it still the warm kind of colour. So, you know, it's similar-ish to how it would be kind of thing. And with these bulbs here, obviously you just ping them out the old ones and put the new ones in. I'm going to give you a link down the bottom to where I bought these bulbs from here in the UK, and they're not expensive. They work out about £1.60 each, so they're not expensive at all. And we only need 3 for this, but I've ordered some more because I want to do this unit as well. I think it pretty much takes the same bulbs. But yeah, so just ping, obviously make sure your unit's off when you're doing all this, make sure it's unplugged and everything. But ping them other bulbs out, it's literally just putting them in place, and the same with the meter, putting them in place. Now, the thing with these bulbs, they're kind of like, got little headlights, like depending which way, and they can be a bit brittle, these bulbs. Don't push them in the middle because each end's got a cap and it's a little bit of circuit board. There's no glass around it or anything like that. You know, with the old bulbs, you kind of push the glass, it's kind of holding it all together. It's got, you know, a bit of substance to it. It's kind of like rigid and all that kind of stuff. With these, I found if you push in the middle, sometimes the end breaks off and all that. So be a bit careful. They're a little bit delicate, shall we say, because they've got no glass holding it in there. So try and put them in by pushing the 2 silver bits in rather than pushing it in the middle where the LEDs are. But what you may want to do, I've done it here and they're facing directly on this plastic. Depends how bright you want it and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of like, you've got a 360-degree turn on them bulbs, so you can put them in there and turn them around depending how you want them to face. So you can change the brightness of that. You know, it may, if you face it inwards, so the main light's going inwards, it's going to be fairly dim because not much light's coming through in it in this piece of plastic, this perspex, and lighting up the dial, like you with me. So you can kind of tune that to how you want it, how bright you want it really. You've got, you know, a certain amount of control over that. I've got them directly facing, I'm quite happy the way this looks. And the same with this meter here as well really. You could tone that down or tone it up. Not by changing any voltages or anything like that, but just rotating the bulb around in that socket, just depending how you put that fuse type bulb in and just turning it around. So that's something to bear in mind maybe. Okay, so that's it I think. Yeah, so I've covered this bit here. I've covered the tuning dial, I've covered the bulbs, I've given a link to the bulbs I've used. Obviously you can go and get normal filament type bulbs, it's up to you. You can get bright white, they do a variety of colours these days, but I think this pretty much suits it as it is. So the next video I think I'm going to do is we've got some sockets at the back, all your connections and speakers and that. Just going to, and there's a bit of metal that goes across that, going to clean all that up, and them speaker connections can work a little bit loose. Going to tighten all them up, clean that up, so that job at the back will be done. So that's my next video I think, and also it may not be that video, it may be this, but that's what we're going to do today anyway. But then again I may come to this and find out why these, if I turn it on again and turn this one off for a minute, so a bit stiff, you can see how dim that is, you can just about see it, so not too sure what's happening there. I can see the bulb there and the bulb there lit up, and if I put it on FM the meter lights up as well. Let's just do that so you can see that, and the dial lights up. Not too sure why they're all a bit dim, so we're going to come to that and hopefully find out what's causing that in a future video. Anyway, until then, and the next video, I'll say thanks for watching and I'll see you all soon.